What's up, everybody, man? It's your host with the most from the East Coast. We are live again, Midday Madness Monday. What's today, April 17th? Hey, we in here, we fucking lit. It's time to turn the fuck up. We got a lot of shit to cover today. Man, listen, shout out to all of the people, man, that are pulling up to the channel, man, supporting the channel, man. Continue to help the channel grow. Y'all already know what time it is. We in the building. Midday fucking madness, man. Y'all pull the fuck up. We about to get into another great conversation on your midday work day, man. You might be at lunch, you might be at break. Make sure y'all pull up to the channel, man. Y'all already know what to do. Apologize for the little delay, man. We supposed to get started right at 12, but we're a little late. But listen, better late than fucking never, man. Shout out to everybody, bro. Like, when I really mean that, when I mean shout out to everybody, I mean shout out to everybody. Everybody, hope y'all had a good weekend, man. We are less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. And if you a Panther fan, you got to be fucking excited right now. Me, I am turned the fuck up. When I tell y'all I am lit, I am lit. It is about to be a crazy, crazy day. I cannot wait till the 27th to get here. We got a lot of stuff to cover today, man. But as always, man, this is Life is Just a Wave podcast. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and like to it as well. Lives going forward, man, we only going to be doing subscriber only mode. So if you want to get this content, man, you got to become a subscriber, man. This will be the last official live that I go live without just letting anybody pull up to it. Just so that's an announcement that, guys, if you want to get the content to all my new people, you got to make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, man, because going forward, we're only going to be doing subscriber-only modes for the lives, man. Shout out to Omar, man. Shout out to Supernova. Shout out to Agent 704, man, my A1s from day ones. Hope y'all boys doing good. Hope y'all boys healthy. Y'all safe, man. Hey, shout out to Panthers Superfan. Panthers Superfan, what's good with it, man? Hey, listen. We got a lot of shit to talk about today, man. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is this whole bullshit about Anthony Richardson being considered with the #1 overall pick. We're going to get into that conversation. Obviously, some reports come out. You guys know that I love to give you guys credible sources so that you guys can go and find this information as well. We're going to get into that. We also need to talk about Jalen Hurts just got a mega deal, resetting the quarterback market, man, and what that will mean going forward for quarterbacks across the NFL. And then, obviously, man, is there some things going on within the Panthers, the Panthers organization? Obviously, for those that don't know, man, Suleiman, our vice president of player operations, just resigned last week. And there's some stuff that seems to be going on, some stuff that came out, about that, man. So we're going to talk about it, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover. But before we jump into that, man, listen. Let's get it, big dog. Hope you had a good weekend. Agent 704, you already know what time it is. Courtesy. Shout out to Courtesy, man. Shout out to everybody that's here pulling up, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Life is Just a Wave podcast. This is your boy, Big Waves in the building. If you smell what the wave is fucking surfing, man, y'all already know how it go. Hey, listen, let me go ahead and get into these opening remarks, man. Hey, first up, we're gonna cover each topic, but there's some things that obviously needs to, get said, around the Panthers, man, and obviously being 2 weeks away from the draft. Suleiman, I thought it was Suleiman. I'm sorry, yeah, Steve Drummond. That's right, Drummond. You're right. So let's keep it real. Right, so here, what's good, man? Real Panda Talk with A&D. What's popping, bro? Let's keep it real for a second, fella. So, I want everybody to understand something. I don't have anything personally against AR-15, Anthony Richardson. I think that he's a phenomenal talent. I think that he's very athletic. I think that he has the size, the stature, the attributes that you would want in a franchise quarterback. I think that he has all of that. And when you watch the film, you could clearly see that there are plays that make him worthy of the #1 overall pick, right? But also when you watch the tape, you also see plays that, to me, he shouldn't even be considered a first-round talent, right? When I see some of those plays. Now, I'm not disrespecting him. I don't want anybody to think that this is disrespect to Anthony Richardson or whatever his game is. But you have to understand something. The Panthers gave up a ton to move to number one. They traded away their franchise wide receiver in DJ Moore, future first round picks, number 9 pick this year, future second round picks, and so on and so forth. So a king's ransom to move up to number one to get their quarterback, right? I just don't see under any circumstance that they would move all the way to number one to select the number 3 quarterback prospect, right? Anthony Richardson this is why he's developmental. If you watched the combine, he didn't throw any passes at the combine at all, right? Any of the accuracy passes where you have to sit in the pocket, throw back short to mid range, intermediate throws, he didn't throw any of those. And even at his pro day, he didn't throw anything, and he only highlighted his strengths, which that's what quarterbacks are supposed to do, right? Guys, give me 2 seconds right quick, man. This damn dog done grabbed some shit he ain't supposed to grab. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. Stop grabbing shit. Oh. So we back at it. We have to understand that Anthony Richardson listen, I could be completely wrong about this guy. This guy could end up being, a franchise quarterback from day one. He has that kind of upside, right? But for this coaching staff and for this regime and for Scott Fitterer, time is not something that they have. They don't have time, right? They don't have time to wait and to develop to see if Anthony Richardson is going to turn into a franchise quarterback. There's just no time for that, right? The Panthers have invested so much into this offseason that they need to see results right away. David Tepper wants results right away. He doesn't want results later on. He doesn't want to wait 6 to 7 games into the season for this guy to be able to come in and start developing and become time is not a luxury. It's not a luxury. And anybody that's a Panther fan should know that time is not a luxury at all. We don't have that. Frank Wright doesn't have that kind of time because David Tepper spared no expense to making sure that we have a franchise quarterback by trading up to the number 1 pick, to investing into this coaching staff, getting some of the most experienced coaches out in the NFL, to bring in these free agent weapons that they've been. Carolina, this has probably been one of their most aggressive off seasons that they've ever had. Time is a luxury that we do not have here in Carolina. And with Anthony Richardson's passing game right now, it's going to need time. He is not an accurate quarterback. And for anybody thinking that it's easy to teach accuracy, Cam Newton never learned it. He never learned it. As much as they tried to do, you remember they tried to change Cam Newton's throwing motion. They tried to put him with certain quarterback coaches to get him, work in the offseason. They tried to do a ton to improve Cam Newton's accuracy, and it never got improved. So for those that are sitting up here thinking that it's something easily can be taught, or it's something that can easily be improved upon, it's not at the NFL level. Listen, you only have windows this small to throw in the NFL. Windows this small to be able to throw in the NFL. And if you are a hair off, that shit could be the difference between a pick six or an incomplete pass or a batted down ball. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Why would I trade up? And then another thing about it, I didn't have to trade to number 1 to get Anthony Richardson. Number 1, you didn't have to trade up to number 1 to get Anthony Richardson. We could have saved some of those draft picks and what we gave up, including DJ Moore, and potentially moved to number 3 or number 4 to get Anthony Richardson. You didn't have to trade all the way up to number 1 to get AR-15. You could have moved from, if you really wanted AR-15, you could have moved to number 3 or number 4. There's no way in hell under any circumstance you had to move to number 1 to get Anthony Richardson and gave up everything that we gave up to give Anthony Richardson. So that is the reason why I would think that this would be a dumb-ass decision, and I'm saying it right now. It would be a stupid decision to trade up to number 1 to draft Anthony Richardson when he would have been available there for you at 3 or possibly 4. You didn't have to move up to get that far if this was the guy that you were going to get. So I promise you, I'm going to let you guys know right now. I'm saying it. I will continue to say it. If the Panthers traded all the way up to number 1 to, and we gave up all of that shit to draft him, y'all, that will set this organization back for years. It will set this organization back for years because you didn't have to be that aggressive if this was the guy that you were going to get. You could have traded up to number 3, number 4, something like that, save some of those draft picks, and you probably would have been able to keep DJ Moore, right? So this is my perspective on, why it doesn't make sense to take him at number 1. Listen, he has the highest upside probably out of any of these prospects far as potential. He has the highest upside on it because, again, he's a threat running the ball. He has a rocket forearm. He can break tackles. He can make plays in open space. He has decent pocket presence. Those are all of the good things about Anthony Richardson, right? But the bad is bad, and the bad is accuracy. Accuracy is not something that you can just teach. That takes time. Morgan Captain, what's up with you, man? Shout out to everybody that pulling up to the channel, man. We live, Midday Madness in the mix. Life is Just a Wave podcast. Y'all already know what time it is. Hey, but accuracy is not something. I don't know why people think that you can just teach accuracy, right? I'm a coach. Granted, I coach youth football, and hopefully one day it can grow up to be, I can go and do some things. Listen, accuracy is not that easy to teach. It's not an easy thing to teach. Honestly, it's really either some quarterbacks have it and some quarterbacks have it. If you guys, like I said, I just gave you guys an example. Cam Newton, they tried to do everything to improve his accuracy, his footwork, his foot positioning. You remember they tried to change his throwing motion. They tried to do all of these things to improve Cam Newton's accuracy, and it never got changed. Cam Newton stayed just as his accuracy. But listen, some quarterbacks are not meant to be dotters. Every quarterback can't come out there and dot you up. But time is a luxury the Panthers do not have. We don't have time to wait to see what Anthony Richardson can become. We don't have time for that shit. That's not something that we have time for. We don't have time to see if he can develop into what we think his potential is. This regime doesn't have that. I read an article, and we're going to get into that too, man. I got Big Bro in the backstage. We're going to pull up here. We're going to drop the link in the chat too, man. Anybody that want to pull up to the channel today, man, it's open mic session on Monday, April 15th, man. Hey, I'm so fucking happy, man. We getting so close to the draft. This is a great time of the year for sports, man. Those that are watching basketball, the NBA playoffs are underway. What we got? Saturday, we got the fight with Devontae Davis versus Ryan Garcia. That's going to be a hell of a fight, man. This is a hell of a week for sports, man. It's a hell of a fucking week. Honestly, these next 2 weeks are about to be hell of a fucking weeks. Shout out to Chris and the thing. The CJ Stroud's obvious choice number 1 is the most accurate. Again, yeah, I listen. I think when it all comes down to it, again, I reserve my right. I think when it all comes down to it, I think CJ Stroud will end up being the Panthers' choice. But I won't be surprised at all if it's Bryce Young. I really, Josh Allen is about the only one to fix his accuracy. Last Second Sports, absolutely, just you're absolutely correct. It's something that's very, very hard to try to teach at the NFL level. Listen, your room for error is just it's non-existent in the NFL. And if you're not an accurate thrower and you can't consistently be able to throw it, because listen, in the NFL, we know that you have to be able to throw in between zones. You have to be able to find a soft spot. You got to be able to hit back shoulder throws. If you can't make those throws on a consistent level in the NFL, you're not going to be successful, man, or won't have a ton of success. And again, we all know that the physical running game, he has all of that ability. He can listen. Nobody can probably, out of all of these prospects, can throw a better deep ball than Anthony Richardson. He has a rocket forearm and he just flicks it. It's unbelievable. I've talked about all of the positives when you're talking about this quarterback. but the Panthers do not have the time to try to sit there and deal with his accuracy issues. That's not a luxury that we can afford because we're in a situation that we need to produce results right away. We need to be producing results right away, guys. Like and to take him number one and gave up what we give up to take him number one, that would probably be one of the dumbest decisions that the Carolina Panthers could ever done in franchise history. Because you probably could have traded up to number 3 or number 4 if Anthony Richardson was your guy. You didn't have to go all the way to number 1. You didn't have to give up what you give up to get Anthony Richardson. So that's my open soliloquy, man, about kind of where we are. I'm about to pull Big Bro up here, obviously, to get his 2 cents on that, man. Listen, we are in the mix, man. Midday Madness, man. Shout out to everybody out there. Listen, I hope everybody is blessed, man. I hope everybody is healthy and they're safe. They doing well, man. I don't know where everybody is. It's a beautiful day here in the Carolinas, man. Charlotte, North Carolina, to be exact. Hey, we about to get live into it, man. Let me go ahead and pull Big Bro here. Listen, if you're new to the channel, this is just a final warning, guys. Today will be the last day that I will allow non-subscribers to view this live. After today, you have to be a subscriber in order to view this content. So go ahead, man, and hit that damn like button and that subscribe button. To all of my surfers that are already out there, make sure y'all turn on y'all notifications so you get notified every time your boy Wavez is in the mix, man, on Midday Madness. So let me go ahead and pull Big Bro up here to the stream. Shout out to Morgan. Hey, what's up with you, man? Shout out to everybody, man, that's out here. Y'all already know what time it is. We are live, man, live. Midday Madness in the mix. Shout out to everybody. Big Bro, we got Big Bro up here. Big Bro, what's good?
What's going on? What's going on? How everybody doing?
Oh, my God. This damn, man. Hold on, man. Go ahead and talk, man. I can't hear you right quick, but let me go ahead and fix this. There you go. Got you now. All right.
Yeah, what's going on with everybody?
What's up? What's up with it, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, wonderful Monday. You know what I'm saying? Top of the work week. Excited next week, draft time. Finally, we finally on the countdown. A little over a week away, away from the draft, from the Panthers selected at number 1. So I'm excited about that because I can feel it, man. I can feel it in the air like the old Beanie Single song. I can feel it in the air. So I'm ready, man. I can't wait, man. Again, next Thursday we got the number 1 pick. It's next Thursday. The people out there, next Thursday, the Panthers will be drafting their quarterback for the future, for our future, man, and possibly, to take us to the promised land, meaning the Super Bowl, for those who don't know what the promised land means, and winning the Super Bowl. So I'm excited, man. It starts next week. It starts, getting that piece, that touted piece of a quarterback, which, as we know, we got to have in this league. If you watch this past year's Super Bowl, you got 2 of the top quarterbacks in the league, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts.
Yes, sir.
You need those type of guys, man. And we haven't had that since, MVP Cam, man, when he led us. But you need those type of guys to get to where you want to be in this league, man. So that's why I'm excited, man. I can't wait. Next week, man. Next week is the week, ladies and gents. So I'm excited.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, how do you feel about this report coming out over the weekend, man? Just to give you some excerpts from this report, per Joseph Pearson of The Athletic, reported Florida's Anthony Richardson remains in the mix and under consideration as the NFC South team decides to do with the selection. One thing is for sure, it seems like the Panthers will take a quarterback with their pick. After all, they need a franchise signal caller. They gave up so much to move up to number 1. Person listed that Cam Newton is a comparison, and some of them believe that Anthony Richardson has a Cam Newton comparison. So how do you feel about that, man?
I think it's all fluff, man. It's just a report. The Panthers, they're not going to take Richardson at number 1. He's a solid quarterback, a lot of potential, but he's not number 1 when you got draft with Stroud and Bryce on the board. Now, in any other draft, maybe possibly if he would have came out next year, he probably maybe would have been the consistent number one overall. But this year he's not going to go ahead of you know one former Heisman winner and also one that was in the top five of Heisman voting, which was Stroud this year. So I mean, he's not going to surpass them, regardless of his potential. He does have plenty of upside. And again, honestly, man, if we was going to draft Richardson, we probably could have stayed at 9 or maybe went up to like 6 or
4.
7. Maybe, I mean, I don't even know if he's gonna go that high, man. I mean, again, he's a solid quarterback, a lot of potential, but you know, I'm honestly thinking we probably could have got him at maybe 7 or 8, man, honestly.
You think he's going to fall that far?
It just depends on what happened, man. It depends on what Houston does. If they're not going like, so many scenarios. Like if we take Bryce and they don't want CJ, they trade down. It just really depends on how that top go. I mean, he may not fall. He might be that 5 to 7 range, maybe, or he might could fall further, man. I mean, who knows, man? I mean, it really just depends on what happens at the top of the draft. We know what we're going to do with whoever we draft, but then Houston's going to hold the key as far as if they're going to move out that pick.
Yes, sir.
And someone go trade up to take, one of the other guys who we don't draft. So it just depends, man. I mean, but yes, to answer your question, he could fall potentially. I can see a scenario of him falling.
I don't think he falls past the Colts. I really don't, man. Shout out to Jesse from Last Second Sports. Man, he brought up an interesting point to me, man, when I was talking to him off to the side. He was saying, think about, because you got to remember, the Colts have Shane Steichen. That's their new head coach. And you've seen what Shane Steichen was able to do for Jalen Hurts. Got him paid $255 million, right? And we go talk a lot about that too. But I think AR-15 to the Colts makes the most sense. I really do. I think that makes the most sense. Team them up with Shane Steichen. Jonathan Taylor still at running back. They still got some young pieces and weapons and stuff that they can build around. I think the Colts makes the most sense for Anthony Richardson, man. I just think that anybody even talking about considering him with the number 1 overall pick, and again, this is no knock on his game. This is no disrespect to the player, but you got to think about it, man. Like with the Panthers is that you didn't have to move up this far to go get him. Like if that was the person that the Panthers are sold on, you didn't have to move to number 1 to go get him, right? Number 2, with that, I don't care what nobody wants to say. He has passing issues, man. The accuracy is an issue. And I've been hearing like a lot of other podcasts, a lot of other Panthers, because I check out a lot of different platforms, and I've been hearing a lot of people talk about like his accuracy is something that can be fixed like yesterday. Just because we got an experienced coaching staff, that means that all of a sudden he's just going to become a better accurate passer. Listen, man, Cam Newton, you remember we tried all type of things to improve Cam over his career in Carolina, and it just didn't work.
You listen, I mean, again, those out there that were saying that, can he work on his accuracy? Absolutely. He can get better. The fact is, I think his upside, people outweighing his upside more to what he can actually do on the field, man, at this point. Will Anthony Richardson be, a top quarterback down the line? I think he has a chance to be, but right now he cannot come in at this moment. I'm talking about this season. If we were to draft him number 1, he cannot come in and start for us right away.
Agreed.
Compared to a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud. We know that. You may talk about at the earliest, and this is at the best possible chance, even with the coaching staff that we have, he wouldn't be a projected starter until next year. You know. So I mean, and
it would be the Red Rifle show this season.
Right, exactly. It would be if we were to draft him. We would be, holler, Andy Dalton, because he just not ready. And that's just due to lack of experience, man. Again, he had 13 games as a starter in the SEC. Those that don't know. That's one full season, which was last year. So I mean, he's young, he's still learning. So I mean, he's not quite there yet. And it's gonna take some while to get there.
I heard a wild comparison. Somebody was like, Joe Burrow only played 1 year, but this guy's clearly no Joe Burrow, man. I mean, I know Joe Burrow only played 1 year at LSU, man, but listen,
But no,
that's an
first of
outlier.
all, they're two different type of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then Joe Burrow had a ton of stuff around him, man. I mean, he fell into a real good situation at LSU, man, and
Yeah.
so I mean, you can't compare the two. Those two are, and again, they're not the same type of quarterback
Yeah, they're
anymore.
not. They're not.
So
One
you
is a
can't compare those
pocket
two.
passer.
Right, exactly. So I mean, AR again, I like AR, man, but he's not number one overall for those that's trying to argue that he is. He will be drafted like the Colts. I mean, I can see your boy said it. The guy who you said you were talking to, he said
Yeah,
that
last second.
gonna take him at number 4. I can see that scenario happen. I mean, I think the Colts know if they do take him at 4, they know he a project, and he's something that he probably gonna sit for a while, this season. Because I mean, if they throw him out there, from day one, man, he gonna fail tremendously.
D'Angelo, the legend, he talking about as the starter. Joe Burrow first year, man. He didn't start the first couple of games. They had another guy out there, but he did start. He became the starter the second half of that season, and he started his first full year when they went to the championship and won. So that's what he was implying to. But yeah, man, it's and again, man, I understand everybody's consideration on it. Like I said, man, the report again, I think that's just all fluff. I really think that it is. I think, man, this thing is still going to come down to Bryce Young. CJ Stroud does have his visit with the Panthers tomorrow, so he will be in Carolina tomorrow, man, and as well as Will Levis. Will Levis is, they got to do all of the technicalities, man, and bring these guys in, but. Hey, like I said, man, I like AR-15. I think he has a ton of upside, but to say that he's the Carolina pick at number 1, I just don't see any way in hell that it's going to happen. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like any way in hell, like that will happen at all.
You're right. I mean, in Morgan Captain Mo, you're right, man. He's still very inconsistent. I mean, and people keep wanting to try to compare him to Cam Newton, man. He is not Cam Newton for those that keep talking about him and Cam. Cam coming out of college won a national championship, and the damn
Heisman Trophy.
And the Heisman Trophy the same year. AR-15 didn't come nowhere close to that.
So I know. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, for those that talk about him and Cam, no, he's not Cam Newton, man. Cam Newton was a different animal coming out of college. He led Auburn to a national championship and won the Heisman in the same year.
That's facts.
Like, you feel me? So so Cam was 10 times better than AR-15 coming out. 10 times better, man.
Yeah, and Cam was bigger than AR-15 too.
Yeah, he was a consensus number 1. I remember, again, I'm watching Cam in college because he was in the SEC. I'm an Alabama fan. And when he came down to Tuscaloosa and beat us, and again, as me being a Panthers fan, I remember saying to myself and some other people, I might have said to you too, Wavez, I said, if we don't draft this dude number 1, talking about that year that Cam came out, I said, man, then the Panthers done lost their mind. This dude was the real deal in college, man.
Yeah, he was.
I mean,
Cam Newton was a problem at Auburn, boy. I'm not even going to count.
He was a man amongst boys, man, at Auburn, man, when he was there. I'm telling you, the dude was official. So him and AR, quit with the comparison, man. They're not the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I had fear, like when we played against Cam Newton back then, bro. That motherfucker put fear in my heart because he was unstoppable. Yep. Cam Newton was unstoppable. It didn't matter what defense tried to do to stop this guy, man. Back then, I remember that game against Alabama. Matter of fact, it was a game against y'all, man. I remember that was the game he fucking went the fuck off. Like he rushed.
Yeah,
I think he rushed for like damn near 200 yards in that game, man. Like.
Listen,
that
man,
motherfucker was unstoppable, man.
And he convinced me then, man. I was like, yo, because I knew we had, we was going to have the number 1 pick coming up. I said, hey, man, if we don't draft this dude, the Panthers got to be spoken something, man. Because
yeah, they do.
He was just like that. Listen, AR-15 is not like that. I mean, he's good. He got plenty of upside, but he is not Cam Newton. And he hoped to have even half of a career that Cam had in the NFL.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Even though Cam ain't playing now, like Cam, former MVP when he was in his prime.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
people don't remember, Cam Rookie of the Year, man.
Yeah, he was.
You
He
know what I'm saying?
was.
Well, almost over 4,000 passing yards. His first season, man. With the Panthers, like this dude was the real deal. He was a day one starter. AR-15, not a day one starter.
Facts.
So, I mean, we got to quit with the comparisons with him and Anthony Richardson, man. To me, that's doing a discredit to Cam Newton.
Yeah, I do agree.
If you want to say body type, they got a similar body type. They both big.
He's still not even as big as
he's
Cam
not as big
was.
as Cam. No, he's not as big as Cam.
Yeah, Cam was like what, 6'5", 6'6",
6'6", man, about
250.
250. Coming out, man. So he was a monster and with a strong arm, but and also he used his legs a lot. I mean, but yeah, man. I think that report is fluff. AR-15, he's not gonna be the number one pick that those is hoping. He does have potential. Again, him going to the coast, I can see that happening. But yeah, he might end up having a great career, man. I'm rooting for the guy,
Yes,
but yeah, man, I don't see us taking him.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, shout out to everybody that's pulling up in the live, man. Y'all already know what time it is, boy. Midday Madness in the Bigs, man, with your boy Big Wavez. Got Big Bro up here with us. We are live, man, on this Monday morning to start the week, man. If you're on your lunch break, if you on break and you pulling up to the channel, man, I appreciate y'all, man. We got a lot of shit to talk about today. Again, last announcement. Every single one of my lives going forward will be subscriber only lives. So go ahead, man. If you haven't done so already and you fucking with the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel because every live going forward will be subscriber only lives. So let's make sure that we go ahead, man. Hit that subscriber button if you haven't done so already. You want to hear the content. You like how Big Wavez coming, how we bring this shit to y'all. Hit the like button as well, man. Y'all already know what time it is. On to our next topic, man. Obviously, man, we are addressing all of the rumors and reports and things that came out over the weekend. Another report dropped out this weekend from ESPN. NFL insiders believe the Panthers will draft C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young. Quick excerpt from that. Many in the league, this was reported by David Newton of ESPN.com. Many in the league who were interviewed, GMs and executives were interviewed, believe it will be Stroud. Citing that Stroud's 6'3", 214-pound frame is a decisive factor in the eyes of those sources. However, Newton wrote that dissenting voices feel Young checks more boxes. So they feel that C.J. Stroud will be the pick ultimately just because of size, but they believe that Bryce Young checks more of the quarterback boxes. Now, with this being said, the unexpected resigning, man, of Stephen Drummer, man, our vice president of personnel, shocked many in the organization, especially this close to the draft. If you read some of the stuff that Drummond had said, and I'm going to pull up his article too, because he had interesting, man, like takes on why did he step down from the role. So let me find that article here. Because I want to read it, man, because he said something that really had me, man, like wondering, really got me wondering. I had an article here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Drummond was the team highest ranking black official on the football side, working behind general manager Scott Fitterer and assistant general manager Dan Morgan. And this is what he said. He said, with the changes this offseason, this seems like a good time to transition to other interests. Drummond said in a statement, I've enjoyed my time with the Panthers and appreciate the opportunities that they gave me. Drummond's departure follows the hiring of Coach Frank Wright, who brought in a whole new staff. So, man, it looks like there's some division going on within the organization, man, with far as who the Panthers may select to have Drummond retire. Big bro, what do you make of all of this stuff, man? There's also been reported that some in the higher ups prefer Bryce Young as the quarterback, and some on the coaching staff prefer C.J. Stroud. How do you feel about this, man? Well, we've been less than 2 weeks away, and about Drummond just stepping down out of nowhere.
It's surprising, man. Honestly, when I seen the report come out last week, I'm just unsure, man, if why right here before the draft. But again, it may be that he do want to take a career. I don't know, but it's kind of strange right here 2 weeks before the draft. You would have thought that if he was going to make a change, it would have been sooner, or he would have waited till after the draft.
Right.
In my opinion. So it might be some division possibly, but I'm just kind of shocked, man. I'm shocked at the news. And again, I just hope that it doesn't, affect, all the good things, or this overshadows all the good things we have done this off season, man. But keep in mind, there was several people, man, that left the Panthers organization, even going as far as last year, man. I forgot the guy name who was over operations for the Panthers and the Charlotte FC team. He had stepped down.
Yeah, a lot of the people from Tepper staff.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if that's a sign of the internal stuff. Maybe they disagree with certain things. Again, I mean, keep in mind, people have disagreement with their jobs all the time. They do leave for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whether it's pay, whether it's just, you don't like the direction the organization is going. I mean, we just got to take what he said as face value, man, unless something else comes out. But, I mean, hopefully there's no division on the inside.
Yes, sir, man. It got me a little bit worried, man. And we got CLT in the building. CLT, man, what's going on with you today?
What's going on, family? Everybody good? Everybody good weekend? Safe weekend?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you for asking, man. Hey, CLT, man, what you make of some of this stuff, man? It seemed like there's a little bit of dividing about this decision on next Thursday, man. With it's being this close and Drummond stepping down, and honestly, his role was directly related to the draft, right? As the vice president of player operations, like literally, that's his role to identify personnel and who it is. So, do you think, man, that there's something going on between Tep and Frank Wright and his staff, and some questions and stuff like that, man? It seems a little bit early in this regime, man, for problems to start to arrive.
What I think it is, man, it's either it's get a line or get gone. If you're not if you're not in line with what the Panthers want to do, and I think that's smart to do earlier than later. You know what I'm saying? Like, why we just put this regime together. We building this team. If you're not on board with what we doing, you gotta get out of there. And it's better to do it early than do it later. So if he's not in agreement in the direction that we're moving, and he's being very adamant about it, you know what I'm saying, not handling himself, in a professional manner, I'm guessing, as far as having conflict inside of the organization, then he gotta go. We need to be all hands aboard, you know what I'm saying? All hands on deck when it comes to drafting this quarterback, when it comes to aligning this team. Because this is, like I said, I feel like this is Scott Fitter's last chance to get it right. If he miss on this draft, he's out of there. You know what I'm saying? So then you're gonna bring in another general manager to pair with Frank Wright, which would then next year will be his last year as well. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's on short leash. And with that being said, if everything's not aligning, it gotta get going.
I agree. CLT, you hit it right on the head, man. Either get on board or get moving. I'm with you on that, and I agree with also, this being Federer, last chance to get it right, to make this happen, and so it's like, okay, well, all right, guys, it's time for me to put my hat on and go to work. So those that's not on board, and again, I don't, and that may not be the case. We don't know the case, but the story. But I feel like if that was the case, I mean, he had to leave or make some other choices. If he didn't, again, that's going back to me saying if he didn't feel like he didn't like the direction the organization was going for whatever reason, he decided to leave. I mean, we all do it every day with our own jobs, So, but man, hey man, I'm
Now,
all about doing what's best for the Panthers. So,
and I want to make this point too, man, because this is going to lead into our next conversation, but. Think about it like this too. Shout out to Omar Tillman, man. Omar said that the Panthers will be doing interviews tomorrow live with Scott Fitterer, Dan Morgan, and Cole Spencer. And then via Joe Person, Drummond wasn't in the group that chose Frank Wright, right? So maybe there is a little bit of division on Frank Wright and his bringing it in. Maybe Drummond was a Steve Wilkes guy. You know what I mean? Perhaps, so we'll see what comes out of that, man. But to your point, CLT, there was a report, man, that came out yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I thought it was an interesting report, man. I posted it in my community section. Shout out to everybody, man, that been running that post up as well. So NFL Network's Greg Rosenthal, former GM, posted his new GM power rankings and has Scott Fitterer listed as the 23rd best GM in the NFL out of 32. Now, some of the reasons of why he has Scott Fitterer listed as the 23rd ranked GM in the NFL, despite all of the good stuff that he's been doing this offseason, is that his decision to pass up on a quarterback 2 years ago to take J.C. Horn, especially with how J.C. Horn has dealt with injuries through his first 2 seasons. Also, a lot that's focused on that decision is the development of Ekwonu. It was some of the reasons that he took that. But also he feels like that the decisions and moves that he's made this offseason was because he was feeling the heat. So to your point, he was feeling the heat, so he had no choice but to be aggressive this offseason. What do you guys think about, man, Greg Rosenthal reporting having him ranked as the 23rd best GM in the NFL?
I agree, it's accurate. We praise Scott Fitterer for making trades, but if the trades ain't amounting to shit, what good is it? You know what I'm saying? We, like you said before, like you've been saying, JC, if he have another injury this year, he's officially considered injury prone. I don't really agree with the Iggy Ekwonu thing because we needed a left tackle. I would think he was better than Evan Neal last year, so I think Iggy
I agree.
Was the better selection. But far as since he came GM, our team hasn't went up. We've added pieces and lost pieces. 1-year deals, 2-year deals. The record hasn't improved, so the additions and the subtractions haven't added to us winning. So you can't put him in the top half because he hasn't reverted us to winning, and some of those selections have been bad.
Yeah, I would agree too. 23rd, that's about, over the middle of the pack, man, which I mean, right now that's I think that's where he's ranked at. Now, depending on what he does, what he's done this offseason and also what we do in this draft is going to determine if he can move the needle and move up. If it's going to pan out for him, he had a chance to, obviously move up on that list. But 23 is right, where I would put him at, in the NFL with what he's done so far. Like my man CLT hit on, some of the things that he's done, trading for C.J. Henderson, then turn around.
That trade to me is like literally one of the worst moves we made, man.
What's crazy is you traded for him, then you turn around and trade for Stephon Gilmore a week later.
This shit crazy. That's crazy.
It was odd, you do that within a week's time. You know what I'm saying?
It is odd. It is very odd.
So it's some questionable things. Even like the article mentioned, him going back and passing over, Fields and taking Horn at 8 2 years ago when we needed a quarterback 2 years ago. that was you can scratch your head on that. So I mean, yeah, it's some things that he's done that's definitely questionable. We're going to see how this pans out, all the moves he made this offseason. And again, I think what he's done this offseason is pretty good, man. So I think he's going to have a chance to move up to be one of the top GMs if everything pans out like I think it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, fellas. I ain't even gonna beat around the bush when I'm gonna say this, man. This year is a do or die year for Scott Fitterer, right? As I said with my opening, Tepper has spared no expense to improve this team this offseason, right? He basically gave Scott Fitterer and this staff a blank checkbook and say, hey, listen, go and get everybody that you think that you can get to make this football team better. You want to trade up to the number 1 overall pick to get you a franchise quarterback, then go ahead and do that, right? This is a make or break year for Scott Fitterer. Listen, the Panthers have to show a lot of improvement this year out the gate. Like, I think that it's going to be out the gate. Now, obviously, we know we're going to have a rookie quarterback. It's going to take some time for this team to gel, but I don't think the leash on Fitterer and this staff is as long as people may think it is, right? I think that David Tepper is in a mindset, man, where and listen, these reporters understand it. So what Greg Rosenthal said, I think it holds some weight, man. I think it holds some weight because that decision, man, to pass up on the quarterback when you had a chance at number 8. Now, granted, J.C. Horn is an unbelievable player and he can stay on the field. But to pass over Justin Fields, you even have Mac Jones there. Now, Mac Jones, the jury is still out on him. But to pass up over a quarterback decision then, it's kind of why you are in the position that you're in right now, man, drafting the quarterback number 1 overall. So the decisions, that this team has made, and I know everybody was saying that was the rule error. I get all of that, guys, but you got to remember something. Scott Fitterer was a part of some of those rule decisions. He really was. And, that era, is the reason why we're in where we're at now. So I don't think that Scott Fitterer is going to have a long time, man, to get this thing turned around, which even goes back to my point. And the whole topic of this video is we damn sure ain't taking no Anthony Richardson at number 1 because everybody is feeling the pressure in this organization. Like, ain't no way in hell that Scott is going to put his job and this staff's job on the line to take a prospect that has developmental that's going to need a little bit of time to develop to get to where he's at. It's just no way in hell that I see it, man. There's too much stuff to do. So for Scott Fitterer, man, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: if this team don't turn out to show any kind of steps forward this season, let's just say, man, we finish a 500 team or less, like year 1. And we don't win the NFC South this first year. Let's just say that. I'm not saying that will happen, but let's just say hypothetically, man, if that happens, hey, man, I could see Scott Fitterer getting his ass gone like after this season. I could see it, man, because too much has been invested. Too much has been invested for us to not see results. We got Omar Tillman, man, pulling up to the channel. Omar, what's good with you, bro?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Man, I feel like he was a little too hard on Scott, man.
Man,
Omar, too hard on Scott, man.
Go ahead, Omar.
I fuck with Scott. I fuck with Scott, and you did. What if I do went back to you here? Say we fire Scott, would you be fine with us elevating Dan Morgan since he's already comfortable here and he's closest to that Brandon Bean? You know what I'm saying? That next assistant GM that's probably gonna get a job somewhere else. Would you be okay with that?
That's a hell of a point, boy. That is a hell of a fucking point. You know what? I would be okay with that. Dan Morgan has done a hell of a job here in Carolina so far. I would be okay with that.
I rock with that as well. I don't want us to get rid of Scott, but like you said, I think his leash, all Tepper did was, all right, I'm going to fire Rule and keep you around, but you got to show something. We can't finish last in the NFC South. If we finish last in the NFC South, he's out of here for sure. He's out of here.
He got to go. He got to go, man. So again, man. So Omar, let me ask you this question, man, and I'll get the rest of these boys on this, man. How short of a leash do you think that it actually is, man? Do you think that Tepper is going? What kind of patience level? If you had to rate David Tepper's patience level on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, What do you think his patience level is right now with the team and getting results?
So, and that's hard because that's hard because, like I said, we are kind of starting over. It is a regime change. It is a new coach with a new quarterback, and so it's not going to be flipped overnight. But what I've been telling people is, I do think we have to make the playoffs twice in that 4 year window that we have Frank Wright under. We have to. We have to make it either this year or next year. Because we make it this year, then miss next year, then that third year is the do or die. You just have to make it one of these first 2 years. We're making the
Okay.
playoffs is a must, in my opinion, to keep everybody here, to keep everybody job safe. I think we got to make the playoffs in these first 2 years.
So what do you rate David Tepper's patience level right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Give me a 6. I'd probably go 6.
All right, so you think he a 6? What about you, big bro, COT?
I'm gonna say, man, his patient level is probably right at a 3, man. Just because of what has transpired in the past, with the fans not showing up. Tepper's a businessman, man. He got to his net worth by not being screwed, man, or just waiting. He's a guy that takes action and he wants the results now versus later. So I think, he told Scott, all right, we're getting rid of Rule. We're gonna give you a new slate, like my man Omar just said. And now you gotta perform. I'm gonna take a hands-off approach, let you bring in, your coach who you want, and let you kind of build this thing and show me, what a GM supposed to do. And then, if you fail, you gone. That point is, that's simple. So like I said, I think he's at a 3 because we can't have a year like we did to where, more of the team's fans showing up in our stadium.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Like that's it. COT, what do you think his patience level is right now?
So with the team and Scott Fitter's patient level is different. Scott Fitter is a 1. I feel like Scott Fitter is make or break. It's a 1. He on a short leash. He cut ties with Rule. Fitter's on next on the chopping block. I think if we go the first 8 games with the losing record lower than like if we got more than 2 losses than wins we have, he's fired mid-season. And I think the team is patient level. It has to be like a 5, right there in the middle, because he did a lot of hiring. He wasn't in his pockets deep, but it's like you can't fire your coach within the same amount of time you fire your GM when you, like you said, it's a rookie quarterback. So the team has more patience, but Scott has the least amount of patience.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, listen, I 100% agree, man. Like my thing about it is, man, is also too about this is with Scott Fitterer, man, he needs to show that these moves is working, right? Like even the moves that we made, and I see some people in the comments, man, who commented on this status. Some of the people saying that Scott Fitterer should be in the top 5, man. I can't say that yet. Like again, we're gonna have a rookie quarterback this year, and it's gonna take some time for him to develop and get more comfortable, man. But I think that the transition for that rookie quarterback, this is arguably probably one of the best situations that you can come into for a rookie quarterback right now, simply because of the pieces that we've added around, the veterans, and then from the experience from this coaching staff. I think this is probably one of the better situations that a rookie quarterback can come into. And then also, I think one element that we forget about this, man, is our defense, right? Our defense is going to keep us in a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to be able to make enough plays to keep games close. So really, you're not asking your rookie quarterback to come out there, man, to do too much. And, while he transitions and becomes the player that we drafted him to be. So again, man, I think the leash on him is small. And shout out to Curtis because he said he thinks that he has a longer leash, but I don't think so, man. I think that it's probably going to be like these next 2 years. If we don't see any kind of results or the team being better over these next 2 years, I can see Scott Fitterer being fired, man. I think that he will get fired before Frank Wright will get fired. I honestly see that. I would see him getting fired before Frank Wright getting fired, man. And listen, I like Scott Fitterer. I'm not saying that I don't like him. I do like Scott Fitterer. I think that he can be a great GM for us, and especially for what he's done this offseason. I think that this offseason was a start to see, but now it's time to see if these moves that he's made can pan out to some wins for the Panthers, man. That's really just what it's about. I'm trying to see if these wins can these moves can pan out to some wins for us this year. So, hey, shout out to everybody, man. Again, pulling up to the chat. We are live midday madness in the mix. Shout out to Big Bro CLT Omar in the building, man. Look, again, subscriber only going forward on these lives, man. So if you want to comment, you're going to have to be a subscriber. You will be able to watch it. But if you want to comment, you got to be a subscriber on the channel, man, to get your 2 cents across, man. We having a great conversation in here today. So, again, going forward, it will be subscriber mode only on the live. This will be the last live where anybody can subscribe. So go ahead. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the like button on this video as well. Also, if anybody is feeling generous, guys, the Cash App is scrolling across the screen. Any donation would be greatly appreciated, man. It only helps the channel out. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Hey, it's time to get into some NFL news and Panther news as well. Breaking news, man. This just came out today. And I gotta get y'all perspective on this, man. It's wild. So Jalen Hurts just got a $255 million contract to be the highest paid NFL player ever. Per NFL Ian Rappaport, Hurts agreed to a $255 million deal that includes $179.3 million guaranteed, along with a no-trade clause. Adam Schefter reported that this is the first time in Eagles franchise history a player will receive a no-trade clause in his contract. Hurts' $51 million average salary will make him the highest paid player ever. He is getting $51 million per year. The bag. Fellas, the only person that comes close is Aaron Rodgers was at $49 million a year. Kyler Murray is at $46.1 million a year. Even Deshaun Watson is only at $46 million a year. Mahomes is at $45 a year. Josh Allen is at $43 million a year. And Daniel Jones, Stafford, and Prescott are all at $40 million a year. Fellas, Jalen Hurts got the bag. Did he deserve it? And also, we'll talk about what this means for Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, all those quarterbacks going forward. This shit is insane.
Listen, man, he definitely got the bag. That guaranteed money, 175 or 179, I believe it was, guaranteed, man. He led the Eagles to the to the Super Bowl. He was an MVP candidate this year, man, and which, in my opinion, I think he should have won it. But man, people got to understand. A year ago, before this season started, a lot of people counted Jalen Hurts out. They said that he couldn't get the job done, that he couldn't lead the Eagles, man. He wasn't a good quarterback, is what they were saying. And in having conversations with several people, I'm like, no, man, this dude is the real deal. Just give him time. I watched him at Alabama and at Oklahoma. But man, the dude, what he done this year was amazing, man. Leading the league, Eagles with a record and all the way to the Super Bowl. He's improved. He improved in every category passing this year. The ultimate quarterback. So I'm glad he got his money, man. He deserved it. What that means for Lamar, we talked about this off airways, is that Lamar's going to fall into that category, somewhere around what Hurts got as far as guaranteed. And it may be a little less than that.
Per year.
I'm probably thinking he's going to fall between 160 to 170 guaranteed wise. And the reason why I say this is because, Lamar, he's a great quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks, MVP, but he hasn't led his team to a Super Bowl, So I don't think he should get as much as Hurts. I mean, if a team willing to give it to him, go ahead and take it. But Hurts, what he got is because of what he done, man. He was Hurts was a second round pick. You know, second round pick, man. He didn't get drafted in the first round. A lot of people don't know that. So Lamar, you know, he's a playmaker. He's dynamic. He gonna get his bag. It's gonna be that 160 to 170 guaranteed range. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how I think it's going to affect. I don't think Lamar will reset the market by getting a deal bigger than Hurts. I don't think that personally, just because he hasn't done what Hurts have, and I mean, Hurts ain't, you know, Hurts obviously wasn't MVP, but he came close. So I think
But that's my argument there, though, man. Like, okay, you got to remember something. Hurts was a second round pick, right? Your contract is also based on your draft stock too, man. So draft stock, Lamar Jackson was a first round pick. He's been the NFL MVP. He's taken the Ravens to the playoffs every year that he's been there. I just don't like when I see this kind of stuff like happen, man. And with if Hurts got this contract that made him the highest paid player ever per year.
Now remember, that's just guaranteed money. We ain't talking about, it's just
I'm talking about per year. He's the highest paid player per season. So he's still getting more than Deshaun Watson per year, right? So Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed contract, but Hurts is getting more money per season. That's the thing.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
I'm not the best math person, but can y'all explain to me how he's getting the most guaranteed per year if he doesn't have the biggest contract, guaranteed contract?
What it is, what matters, CLT, in contracts in the NFL is the guaranteed money. So meaning, regardless of what happens, whether he gets injured, whether he gets traded or cut, they got to pay him their money. So he's getting 179 guaranteed. That means that's what the Eagles have to pay him, regardless of what he does from now until he retires or whatever happens. So that's he's getting now as far as value.
This shit crazy.
Value wise, Deshaun Watson has the, you know, value wise, as far as, you know, all of his money is guaranteed per year. His whole 250, I think it was, is guaranteed. So he got more guaranteed money through the value of the contract. But he got, as far as like true guaranteed money, 179 over 5 years. That, let's see, do the math real quick.
That's $36 million a year. That's what I'm not understanding. If you do 179 divided by 5, that's what I'm not understanding.
But that's what makes it the highest paid contract ever is the amount of money that he's getting per season, right? So his contract is worth more than what Deshaun Watson has. His contract is up to $255 million. Like that 255 is higher than what Deshaun. I think Watson only got like 250. So his total contract value.
So here it is. I got it right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is per ESPN. It says Hurts deal is the biggest contract in terms of average annual value. And
that's what I was saying.
Deshaun Watson's 230 contract signed last year with Cleveland, which is fully guaranteed, is still the biggest in terms of guaranteed. So Hurts got 255. That's the total value. So I mean, that's what makes him the in NFL history is the overall value of the 255, not the guaranteed money. We was wrong when it came to that. Yep.
Yeah. That's what I was saying per year. There's never been a player to make over 50 million per year, man. Like no player at no position has ever made 50 million a year.
It says that per ESPN, 51 million per year. Like if that's if he live out that contract, meaning if they don't restructure it and he play the next 5 years, that's what he'll be averaging is 51 per year.
All right. So and then another thing with Jalen Hurts and Lamar, right? Jalen Hurts did less with more. He did less.
Thank you, CLT.
But here's the thing. But see, I gotta say something about that. Because you're right in a sense, but Lamar Jackson was a higher pick than Jalen Hurts.
8704. You goddamn right. That's a fucking bag. This nigga just got
know,
paid, boy.
So meaning Lamar, Lamar's situation and Hurts, they are different. Lamar was a top pick in the draft. What did Marlon go? What was? I know he's first round.
32.
Okay,
Yeah,
he went 32.
He was the last pick in the first round.
Last pick in the first round. So now keep in mind, if we compare the two, we also got to look at what you done on the field. Not only that, have you been able to stay on the field, right?
Hurts only done played 2 years.
So he played longer than. Remember, he didn't start his first year.
This is Hurts. Last year was
starter.
Last year was Hurts' second season.
No, he didn't start his rookie year. You remember they had the other quarterback. Then he came in at the end of the season, his first year. I forgot they had Wentz.
I think they had Nick Foles. Yeah, I can't remember who the hell it was, honestly.
But he came in and took over. Like game 15 or 14 or something, and led him. So meaning he's been on the field, not injured like Lamar has. And again, I love Lamar. I love him. Like, you got to consider that too, man. It's about the NFL is about what can you do for me now? Yeah, we can say he done led, he done had him in contention, but hell, Lamar's been injured. That's what the game.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all, but this contract just tells you that Philly is a better organization than Baltimore, bro.
That's facts. That's facts, CLT. That's facts.
There's no way that Lamar don't get paid, bro. There's no
facts.
way because Jalen Hurts. Yeah, you can say Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl, but he lost. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? He didn't win it.
I mean, look, you got to get there to get a chance to win it, right? You got to get there.
But essentially, what it boils down to, you won some playoff games. Lamar have won a playoff game. You didn't complete the mission.
Let's keep it honest. Lamar won some playoff games, but he hasn't won the playoff games that he needed to win to get to the Super Bowl.
And Jalen Hurts
didn't win. But Jalen Hurts, you can't tell me.
MVP.
Hold on, CLT. I'm gonna promise I'm gonna let you finish. I got to get this in the big bro. You cannot tell me that Lamar has had a team like Philly as complete as Philadelphia's team in Jalen Hurts' second year. When did Lamar have a wide receiver ever close to A.J. Brown or a defense that was stacked up front like the Eagles had this past season?
You putting it on the team, like, so
it's a team game.
That's not Jalen Hurts' problem or Lamar's problem. The issue is that look, that's Baltimore, like you said, like CLT just said, it's the organization, which I agree. If the organization ain't put nothing around them, like, that's they issue, right? It's they issue to maybe again why they haven't succeeded. Again, that Philly went out and said, you know what, I'm gonna bring in some guys, to help Hurts and his team, to try to get to the promised land. That's what they did. But the issue, so we talking about the individual, outside of the team stuff, right?
But when you say an organization that helps you less should pay you more,
thank you.
I mean,
that's how I feel.
I would say this. To answer that question is that I feel like they should pay me, what my value is, meaning what my value is may be different than your value or what you think your value is, right? So again, me, if I was in the situation, like, let's just say I'm Lamar Jackson, hey, okay, especially after I see Hurts contract, all right, well, he got 179 guaranteed, 255 total. Okay, boom. What I'm gonna do is like, hey, I'm going to them. All right, here's what I'm coming with to the table. I'm former MVP. I've led the team to the playoffs. We've been in contention. I know I've been injured a little bit, but here's what I think what number I think I should be at. I'm gonna say some shit. Which again, just me. Hey, I think I at least worth at least 170 guaranteed. That's what I'm thinking. That I'm coming in at. And just because I know they gonna throw up in my face, well, shit, yeah, you a former MVP, you led us, but hell, you've been injured too, because that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do at the negotiation tables. Teams gonna do it. They're gonna try to underpay you. Most teams gonna try to get the most out of you for less. That's just business, right? It ain't no,
And my response to that, what they would say is, yeah, I've
what?
been hurt, and I would ask, did you guys not contribute to me being hurt, having me as a running quarterback?
Now, CLT, my response to that would be, well, isn't that your game?
Well, let me say this. Hold on, before y'all get into that, let me say this, man.
Go ahead.
Ain't no way in hell that Jalen Hurts get $255 million and Lamar Jackson don't get anything that's close to that, bro. I'm sorry. You can talk about the injuries or whatever your case, because before the injuries, you could argue Lamar Jackson was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, bro. Like I'm not.
But see that.
Hold on. But let me finish. Let me get it out.
Go ahead.
Even after the injuries, even with the injuries, because the injuries that he have, man, like they're not significant injuries. Like like he still played a big part of these seasons, but maybe mixed 5 or 6 games. Okay, that's fine. But and then in the last game, the season, I mean, the playoffs, who's to say if he could have played or not? That's up to me. But for what Lamar has done in his track record with the Ravens, I'm talking about from team value, outside of the NFL, from team value. What were the Ravens before he got there, and what have they been since he's been there? And it's not that hard to find out. You just go back to what the Ravens record was before they drafted Lamar Jackson. They were shit.
Well, I mean,
they were terrible. They were terrible.
Agree with you there, but you got to look at it. That's why you get drafted. Like your job. If you draft a quarterback, your job, especially in round 1, and round 2, used to come in and make the team better.
So if you're going off that logic, because you feel like Jalen Hurts deserved this contract because he was in contention for the MVP, didn't win it. He went to a Super Bowl, didn't win it, and he deserved to be the highest paid player annually of all time. Listen, that means that Joe Burrow should have a $300 million contract with $255 guaranteed. If that's the case.
Here's the thing.
If that's the case, if we're going off of that alone, that got to be the case.
But we not okay. Listen, first of all, we're not talking about Joe Burrow. He's irrelevant in this point. Just because he hasn't got a deal, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Hurts and Lamar, right? So, your point was that, well, I know about the injuries, and you drafted. What was the team before prior? I mean, we could say that all day about any team. What was the team before? Hell, the Panthers, we about to go into a series where we wasn't shit without a quarterback prior. We know that if you get drafted, especially that high, you're supposed to be coming in and producing. So Lamar, he produced again, and he's going to get paid, guys. It might.
Why is it taking so long?
It might not be. I'm not in the front office, man, but what I'm saying is this. Okay. We know what type of quarterback he is. The fact that like he was hurt when the Ravens was in the playoffs this year, he couldn't play. That's big. That's big when your quarterback cannot play in the playoff game for injury. Again, we know injuries going to happen. I'm not blaming Lamar for that because we know injuries happen in the NFL. But what I'm saying is this: when you're not your best asset in the NFL is availability.
Agreed.
That's your best asset when it comes to contract negotiations and getting your money is availability. Is how available is the guy, especially at quarterback, right? So you come in this season where I had to go into a playoff game with Tyler Huntley as quarterback. When I drafted you in the first round, and just talking about this year, not even talking about the previous years where he'd been out a few games. But the fact is, I couldn't depend on you, because you were injured, and you've had a history of injuries. Not saying he's been out majority of the time, not saying that, but he's had a history of injuries because of the style of play that CLT brought up. He's a running quarterback. He's small. We talked about that. Y'all want to talk about how small Bryce Young was, but the fact that Lamar, he's had that history of injuries, and
the size stuff don't even matter,
man. I just think that he will get a nice bag. He may not get the 255, but I'm talking about the guarantee. The guarantee money is what count, man. We talked about this. The 250, that 255 don't mean nothing. What means something? Jalen Hurts contract is the 179 guarantee. That means he will get paid that regardless of what happens for the rest of his career. The Eagles have to pay him 179 million guaranteed in the bank. That 255 is not guaranteed. Most quarterbacks and most contracts in the NFL period, they don't never make it to the full value of the contract. Just because teams, they always restructure and the salary cap number is high, so they always restructure. So the 179 is what matters. So meaning Lamar should be looking at the guarantee money, which he is, because he said he wanted Deshaun Watson's type of guaranteed money, which the Browns they made a mistake. They came out and said they shouldn't give him that contract because there was way too much money in one player, guaranteed money. Like Lamar will get his bag, man. He gonna get. I'm thinking at 160, 170. He turned down to 133. That's cool, but he gonna get at least 160. 160.
Yeah, I mean, my thing about it is, man, I just don't understand. Like I said, man, why that guy hasn't got his money. Like if Jalen Hurts got this kind of deal, if Jalen Hurts got this kind of deal, man, it just doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. Like, well, it just go to show you that the NFL, man, is like really, we talked about resetting the market. Even if you want to use the injuries, man, as a reason, but there's no fucking reason why Lamar Jackson haven't been paid up until this point. And then now you got to think about it like this too. I told y'all last week when we were talking about this same topic. Now, if Hurts got this kind of bag, right? If Hurts, a man who only been playing for 2 years, got this kind of deal, and really, I mean, he had a good year. He had a hell of a year last season, but I'm gonna attribute that also, man, to having a hell of a team and a hell of a coaching staff, because that's what Philly has, a hell of a team, and they don't just have a good quarterback. They have great wide receivers. They have a great tight end, the best offensive line.
Let's back up.
Hold up.
This past season, they had great wide receivers in the backfield.
Okay, they didn't have that. They also had, but that's
what did he do last year? What did he do the year before?
They made it to the playoffs the year before.
They have a great, arguably probably the best offensive line in the NFL. It's the best offensive line in the NFL. Is on the defensive side, the best defensive line in the NFL. You got some of the best corners and secondary. The team is stacked top to bottom. It's not Jalen Hurts' fault. But I'm not saying that it's his fault that the team is stacked top to bottom. But when you're talking about team success, because I'm going off of your original statement, big bro, where you said that he took his team to a Super Bowl. But you don't get to the Super Bowl with just quarterback play only.
But not only that though, he took him there, but the man had a hell of a season in stats too, man. It was
he did have a hell of a season. But
if you go back and
has a hell of a seasons in stats.
But look at it though too.
And he just
go ahead, CLT. Go ahead.
I'm saying that contract is based off last year alone.
Well, no. That's what I was going to tell you. It's not. He's improved every single. If you go look at his passing numbers, he's improved every year.
And Lamar hasn't.
Well, Lamar, we can't say that because he was hurt this past year, so we don't know what he does. But that's what I'm saying. Outside of his MVP year, right, Lamar, we can't talk about what he did this year because he missed 9 games or whatever it was. So we don't know what he would have done. So and again, I'm not saying Lamar's the best. I'm not saying Hurts is the better player.
Before the MVP season, Lamar had Baltimore in the playoffs. Now they got bounced first round, but they was in the playoffs, and that's the same thing that happened to Philly.
And he played. And he played, right? He played in the game, right? Okay.
But would you play this year in the playoffs when they need you and they don't want to pay you?
But to me, if you ask me, I'm a competitor. Yes, I'm playing. I'm gonna be there for my team.
Yeah, I'm competing for the ones at home too. The ones I got to feed at home too, right?
So that's fact.
Now, okay, guys, so let's see competing there about feeding the ones at home. He was getting paid. He wasn't like he wasn't getting paid to play in the game. So let's not use that statement.
We talking about.
But I mean, I get what you're saying, CLT. But you got listen, man.
how can I call myself a franchise quarterback? And let's say if there was his reason for not playing, I don't know. What the report is that he was injured. But let's say we took the reason that you just said, well, I'm not going to play in this game because this team don't want to pay me. After he said in the offseason that if they couldn't get a deal worked out by the time the season started, I don't want to negotiate during the season. He said that. Nobody, the Ravens didn't say that. He did it. So meaning, no, listen to me. Let me finish. So if you said that, you get hurt and your team get to the playoffs and you got a chance to play in the playoffs and you tell me you ain't gonna play? Come on.
Well, technically, he still put them in the playoffs.
It don't matter. The fact we need you in the playoffs.
No, sir. You don't get me in the playoffs. You don't pay me. You don't get me in the playoffs.
But CLT, what did I just say? He said that he didn't want to negotiate during the season.
Man, that's good press run. That's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say that to defend your team. And he done did everything to defend the team, and the team not defended him.
So you tell me you wait till that to me, that don't make any sense. You wait till to say why you play in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
If you a pain in my ass, why wouldn't I be a pain in yours?
But I mean, I get that part of it, but it's like, how can I call myself a leader of this team and this organization, and we got a chance to make a run? Because we don't know what would happen if he would have played.
Is nothing without him. He is the leader of that organization.
So that's
I feel you on that, CLT. Listen, I think I get what everybody is saying here, man. Like CLT, I'm more sided with you, man, because I'm a firm believer, man, that there ain't many out of 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, there's probably only about 10 to 12 franchise quarterbacks in the NFL. Like literally guys that you know that you can build your team around, right? And out of those 10 to 12 guys, if those guys have been giving you production, like you said, you gotta win playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, but you also got to get into the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl as well.
So let me ask you this, since y'all want to use that logic. Jalen Hurts didn't have this contract leading this team in the playoffs.
He didn't have any kind of contract negotiation.
Listen to what you said now. So meaning he was still playing on the rookie deal, making less money than Lamar. What did he do? What did Jalen Hurts do this season?
And you understand that the organization didn't play him on a fifth-year option. They paid him in between his contract.
Right, you can't compare that. That's a bad comparison, big bro.
They paid him in advance.
Because Lamar Jackson was in his fifth year of his rookie deal. What are you talking about?
They paid Jalen Hurts in advance, which you should do to a quarterback that has led you.
Exactly. That's what you should do. Absolutely. You should get a deal done before it even gets to the end of the rookie contract.
Okay. Now, with that in mind, so wouldn't don't think about the situation with your emotions. Think about it for business. With that in mind, if you're a business, you're a team owner, you say, okay, we picked up his fifth year. He on the fifth year option. So basically, we couldn't get nothing worked out in the offseason. He comes to tell us we don't want to negotiate during the season. He want to focus on football. Cool. So why am I, as the owners, at fault because, or you should know, he shouldn't play if we make it to the playoffs. You telling me that you don't want to play because you feel like I I ain't pay you, but you told me.
All right, so I think this is where our sides come into conflict. You're looking at it in the regards of a owner. We're looking at it in regards of a man and morals. I'm a man. I have a family to feed. I've done more than expected of me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's right. You have CLT. But let me ask you this. Let's not think about the NFL. Just think about it. Your job, right? Your job, what you do, right? To feed your family.
Uh-huh.
Can you go like to your job? Like, let's say like you got a big conference that you got to attend at the end of the season, and it's going to determine, if your business go to the next level, get to the mountaintop, right? And you say, you know what? They need you. You're a valuable asset of that organization, and they need you. And you say, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. Well, why, CLT? Why are you going to sit it out? Well, I feel like, y'all deserve to pay me more. We tried to get something worked out early in the season, earlier this year before this conference was, and we couldn't get nothing worked out. I told y'all, we can negotiate after this conference or whatever. And you say I'm just not going go. Well, we need you, CLT. We need you. Like we need
All
you,
right.
right? So
All right.
meaning,
Now,
no, look at it like that. Now,
I was going to ask a question. I was going
Go
to ask a question.
Go ahead.
So, in that example, in the beginning of the year, your job use their leverage, as in you're needed, but you're not required, as in they could have got somebody else to do it. Correct?
Now, if they use that,
correct in that situation, like they said they needed you, you know what I'm saying, but didn't pay you, meaning that if you don't perform, they're gonna get somebody else to do it. Correct?
Well, keep in mind now they did offer a certain salary,
but I'm saying this, we're talking
down.
about, but put on the show. If you did not accept,
I didn't accept. Okay,
you can be replaced. Correct?
Right.
So now, and that's and that form of being replaced is considered the job's leverage, right?
Right.
So we get down to the nitty gritty to the end of the year where I'm needed, where my value is at 10, and in my back of my head, you jerked me at the beginning of the year. You told me I was needed, but I can be replaced.
Right.
But now that you absolutely need me, I'm at leverage, right? So, in regards to business come down to leverage. If you come from a business perspective, Lamar had the leverage at that time. But why would you take advantage of your leverage if the business has taken advantage of their leverage?
He didn't. This is what I'm saying. He didn't. This is what we disagree at, because he ended up started the season and played the season. That's what he messed up, because he had his most leverage by saying, you know what, I'm gonna sit out. Y'all offered me this 133. That he declined, and he has the right to do that. And I'm still gonna play this season. So meaning, if you commit to to stay at an organization, right? If that's what you want to do, or you commit to leave or not play or not show up to work, that's your choice. But if you commit to it,
I would say him playing this year was the most honorable and the most rewarding thing that the organization could have asked of him. Most players would have sat out a year, and then that's when the league would have concluded against him.
Hold on, fellas. Let me get some quick promo in there. Hey, look, man, we are at the hour and a half mark into the show. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up, people in the comments, man. Great conversation going on today. Yeah. We here to talk about a lot, man. We got a lot of stuff we're talking about. Obviously, right now, covering Jalen Hurts' big deal. What is it going to mean for Panthers' future quarterbacks and quarterbacks in the NFL? We're about to hop up and finish it out with this last Panther topic here in just a second. Also, to all my subscribers out there, every live going forward will be a subscriber-only live. So that means that you will be able to watch the videos if you're not subscribed, but in order to comment, you have to be a subscriber of the channel. So, again, just a heads up for everybody, just letting you know, for people that haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe right now. What are you waiting on? Hit the like button on this video as well, man, if y'all rocking with the content. We are in midday madness, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Shout out to these boys that's out here, too. Hold on, y'all. It's some stuff coming out. My phone blowing up. Oh my God! Breaking news! Alabama quarterback Bryce Young has just canceled the remaining of his pre-draft visits. Another sign is that the belief he will be going number 1 overall. He has just canceled all of his pre-draft visits. The Carolina Panthers is the only team he's met with where he believes that he's going to be the number 1 selection in the NFL draft. God damn. Woo! It's about to be the Bryce show in Carolina.
Hey, look. No matter said, but I'm gonna close on this on Lamar just to wrap it up real quick. But CLT, I get exactly where you're coming from, man. All I'm saying is this, and you're right about leverage. I feel like if you made the commitment to play, you get to the playoffs, you need to play if you can. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If that's all I was saying, man, it's like that was his leverage right there. It's like, all right, well now, shit, man, you ain't played. Like I can use that. They can reverse it and use it against him. That's all I was saying. But he will get paid. He will get paid. But
Yeah, he gonna get a deal done. He'll get the deal done. But
Yeah,
man, great conversation.
Right.
Listen,
Definitely great conversation.
shout out to Notorious B.I.G. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Look, it has come across. It makes sense though, because he's already made visits with the top 5 teams. Why would he go to other visits? But the belief is Young also visited the Texans, who drafted at number 2. He's canceled all of his rest of pre-draft visits. Another sign of the backup belief. And even with this report is all of the people within the organization seem to be showing clues that Bryce Young is the pick, that he will be the pick. Hey, guys, man, look, it's looking like it's going to be the Bryce show in Carolina. It's looking like it's going to be the Bryce Young show in Carolina, man.
Hey,
what's y'all thoughts?
Listen, like we always said, man, that's not surprising. You know, Bryce is, you know, he's that guy. He's that guy. I mean, he got it all. He can lead us day one. So if that's the case, man, if that's who we're gonna be taking next Thursday, man, when this draft kickoff, I believe at 8:00, I believe is the draft time. I'm all in, man. I'm all for it. You know, let's go. I'm ready to get my Bryce Young jersey. You know, soon it go on sale. I'm going to grab it. Whoever we draft, number 1. But if Bryce is the guy, let's go, man.
So for the people in the comments, Notorious B.I.G., I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I'm giving you your props. You've been saying it. I got you. But for the people that's in the comments keep saying that this is something else, rumors of Young going to the number 1 overall peaks have intensified in the last few hours as insiders believe that Bryce Young will be the pick at number 1. This is via NFL Network. Rumors of Bryce Young going number 1 overall to the Panthers have heated up over the last few hours after he's could cancel the remaining visits per NFL Network. Hey, guys, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm not mad at this. Hey, courtesy. Another thing about C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is going to be on a visit with Will Levis in Carolina. He's not coming by himself. Bryce Young did a visit by himself in Carolina. He's coming. Yeah, so C.J. is going to visit tomorrow, but he's also going to be sharing the tour of the facility, meeting with the staff, also with Will Levis. Bryce Young is the only prospect that we brought in that came by himself at the quarterback position. So, man. Y'all, the countdown is fucking real, man. Draft day is literally less than 2 weeks of fucking away from Thursday, man. It is about to get real in Carolina, man. It is, and listen, AJ Brooks, you might as well get ready to put that that number 9 on. You better get ready to put that down. I got a feeling that it might be Bryce, y'all. I don't have a preference either way, but I got a feeling that it's probably going to be Bryce. I just feel it.
Could be, man. Look, we're gonna see. Again, we can't go wrong with either one, man. So if it is Bryce, let's go. Let's go. We're gonna confirm it or deny it next Thursday. So got the Stroud visit coming in.
I think.
Go ahead, CLT.
I think that joint visit with Will Levis is disrespectful, though. Honestly, I feel like we could have did single visits. I feel like you should give him the same respect you gave Bryce. To be honest, I don't know if it's a reason that scheduling wise, as far as Stroud, but I don't think that was cool.
Yeah, they did a joint visit. CJ Stroud is on a joint visit with Will Levis tomorrow here in Carolina. I don't know what that's all about, man. But again, man, it only sparks, discussion on about who the Panthers are favoring. Bryce Young had his visit in Carolina last week, with reports was that it went fantastic. So listen, guys, look, y'all got to remember something. We're less than 2 weeks away from the draft. These reports got to hold some kind of weight, man. The stuff that is coming out, listen, where there's smoke, I'm a firm believer. Where there's smoke, there's fire, guys. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I think it's a test bringing him in with Levis. He's the only QB that have done that with. Exactly. Shout out to Notorious B.I.G. If Bryce was in Stroud's body, we wouldn't be arguing right now, hands down. I've been saying that all along. If Bryce Young was C.J. Stroud's size, Bryce Young would be the consistent number 1 overall pick. Listen, so there was a report, man, that, and again, this is all breaking news right now. Tom Pelissero, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young has canceled his remaining pre-draft visits per sources. Another sign to go back up belief within the league that the Heisman Trophy bid will be the Panthers pick at the number 1 overall. He did also visit with the Texans at number 2, but the consensus is that he is the Panthers' choice per Tom Pelissero. Hey, y'all, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. So why go through with CJ and Levis visit if Bryce was the sure pick? Courtesy, you still got to do it's technicalities, man, that you got to do. Because hell, we brought Anthony Richardson in and Will Levis in. You still got to bring these guys in, man. I mean, that's just a part of it. And that's the thing. Why even go to all of their pro days? So those are all technicalities, man. Courtesy, those are all technicalities. You gotta follow the process. Hell, they went to Will Levis pro day, and I know like hell, Will Levis ain't even been considered for the number 1 overall pick. So that's all technicalities, bro. They got to get that shit done. Hey, fellas, it's looking like. I mean, I don't know. I just don't fucking know, man. I really don't know. How y'all feeling out there, man? They say they haven't broken the news yet, but Dalvin Cook is about to sign with the Miami Dolphins. Don't have to believe me. Just wait a few minutes. Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can see that. Miami is loading up right now.
They got a ton of running backs down there now, man.
Yeah, they do got a lot of running backs down there.
Mostert. So
Sports Illustrated also just put out this article, and I'm just going to read excerpts, guys. You know I like to give you guys I don't want nobody believing that I'm making any of this shit up. This is stuff out there that you all can go find, and I give you the sources. I also credit my sources of where I get this information. This is information that everybody can access. I just take pride on giving everybody the correct, most accurate information when we're talking about this stuff. So it's no secret Carolina will likely select the QB plus why, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about B.J. Robinson. 10 days left, and we have a draft-heavy version of takeaways. Listen, the trail of clues on the first pick in the draft keeps leading back to Bryce Young. This is per Sports Illustrated. Last week, they mentioned the amount of time the team Brad spent with Young and the time they put into Young's parents. They said that they had dinner with Bryce Young's parents last week, as well as Young's S2 score, a 98, which is better than previous high scorers Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Justin Fields, having one of the highest scores over the last 5 years. It is said to be a believer. David Tepper, because of his analytical background, is a believer in the cognitive test. This week, there's a smaller detail coming out. Ohio State's C.J. Stroud and Kentucky's Will Levis will come in for their 30 visits on Tuesday. On one hand, some teams do bring in the players they're most interested in closer to the deadline for such visits. On the other, if Carolina was going to do a full day of introducing Stroud to everyone in the building, chances are they would bring him in without any other quarterback. Young, for what it's worth, came in on his own, and it makes sense that he'll be the pick if indeed is. And yes, I'm definitely making way too much of this. But that said, not unanimous, but in making calls this week, there's a strong consensus on two things with Young. One, he is the best tape of the quarterback in this draft. And two, if he was 6'3", 220 pounds, there'd be no discussion on who would be going first. Outside of the size, said one offensive coordinator, he does everything the way you want a QB to do it. At any rate, visits from Stroud and Levis wrap up an exhaustive couple months for General Carolina GM Scott Fitterer and Coach Frank White as it's about decision time. Wow. Wow. Hey, look, man. Hey, look, guys. So let me ask y'all guys this question, man. What do you guys really think is going to happen on Thursday night? CLT, Big Bruh, what are y'all thoughts about all of this?
I mean, I think we're gonna take a quarterback in number one, man. I think we're gonna take either Stroud or Bryce. These reports, Bryce canceled his visit. I mean, that if that's true, that definitely could be a sign. Be taken as a sign that we may go with. I mean, either way, guys, these quarterbacks are going 1 and 2. Whoever it is. So whether the Texans, they're gonna take a quarterback. I still feel the Texans, if they don't trade back, they're gonna take one, and it's gonna be the Bryce or whoever. I mean, whoever it's gonna be, whoever we don't take. So again, if it's Bryce, man, I'm with it. If it's Stroud, I'm with it. Hey, I'm tired of all the speculation, man. I'm ready for it to happen. Come next Thursday, man. Whoever it is, that way I can go get my jersey when they go on sale, whoever it is. So that's how I feel about it.
Hey, it's about to go down, man. CLT, what's your thoughts about all of this, bro?
I'm still favoring Stroud. I think Stroud's gonna be a pick. I don't read too much into Bryce canceling his remaining visits because we all know he's going within the top 5. So there's no reason for him to have those visits. Like I said before, I'll be happy with either or. I think Bryce is a great selection. I think Stroud is a great selection. I'm just ready to get it over with. I'm ready to see who I'm gonna be cheering on, who I'm gonna believe in our team.
So you saying, I know, man, that you a fan of CJ Stroud. I get that you're a fan of CJ Stroud. I think that's been clear, man. So, man, what do you think about, man, what all of these guys are saying about if the Panthers, if Bryce Young had CJ Stroud's body, he would be the consensus number 1 overall pick?
I would say that is true, and here's why. Just like we were speaking about Jalen Hurts compared to Lamar Jackson, Lamar has did more with less. And in this situation, Bryce would be Lamar doing more with less. And Stroud had more and did less. So you will have to say in that case, Bryce would be the number 1 overall.
So, but do you see? But what my question is to you, CLT. But do you honestly believe that, though? Do you think that outside of the size, Bryce Young is the better quarterback?
Outside of the size, yes, I honestly do. I think he's more intelligent. I think he's more accurate. I think Stroud has the bigger arm, which has already been a consensus. But I think Bryce is the better quarterback. I think Stroud is just the safer prospect and checks boxes as well. But if you go with accuracy and intelligence, I think Bryce has some playmaking ability.
Absolutely, man. Hey, well, look, guys, we are literally 10 days away about finding out who the Panthers' next quarterback signal caller going to be. Is it going to be Bryce Young? Is it going to be CJ Stroud? We've been arguing this, man, for the last couple of months since the season has ended. Back in December or January when the season ended, we have been debating ever since the Panthers had traded up for the number 1 overall pick. This has been a debate. And guys, we are literally just 10 days away from finding out. Now, I am contemplating doing a live during the draft process, right? So I won't be streaming the draft, but I am probably going to be going live during the draft. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of Panther people going live during the draft. We're probably going to do something on draft night, guys, where we're giving live reactions of the Panthers pick and the rest of the draft as we go through the first picks, man, and giving everybody just, some really good content on that. So be on the lookout for that, man. That's going to be coming out. I think I am going to go ahead and go live that night. I'm going to be sitting in my living room, so y'all will be joining me in my living room, man, talking about the Panthers pick on who they should draft, man. It's going to be a lit night, man. So y'all make sure that y'all pull up to the channel. Look, subscribe, like. It is getting crazy in Panther fucking Ville. We going brazy. Midday Madness in the fucking mix, man. Y'all go ahead, man, and get y'all final words in there. Go ahead, CLT.
Hey man, I want to say appreciate y'all, man, for a great show, man. Appreciate my guy for some debate there, man. I appreciate his perspective, being open to my perspective as well, man. I want to say keep pounding, man. Next Thursday gonna be a big night, impactful night for our team history, man. So everybody tune in. My guy said he's gonna have a live, man. We got to tune in to support.
Yes, sir. It's about to get crazy. Y'all already know what time it is. Big bro, go ahead with the final word, man.
Oh yeah, TLT always good, man. Good debate. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. This is what make this a good podcast, man, to listening to, and for us to talk about it, man, and make good points. Definitely a great show today. Look, as I always say, hey, everybody lock in. 10 days away, regardless of who it be, Stroud or Young. Get ready, Panthers fans. Again, I don't care either. As long as it's one of those two, I'm happy with. I don't have a preference. So whatever the reports come out, hey, I take them. Look, if that's the case, let it be done. If it's Stroud, let it be done. So I'm excited, man. I said it earlier in the show. I can feel it in the air. I can feel the excitement around this team, this organization, this pick coming up. I just can't wait till we finally have the guy, because I'm tired of the speculation, about, going back and forth between one of the two. Again, this is, um, if I can remember, one of the drafts that there's not a clear number one pick at quarterback, because since it's number one, you have two guys that can obviously get the job done, and we talked about the reasons why. So again, we can't go wrong with neither one, in my opinion. I just can't wait. Guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, let's get it, man. Panthers fan, let's go.
Hey, man. Hey, look, y'all know how it go, man, over here, man, on Life is Just a Wave podcast. We always bringing y'all that real Panther talk. Look, make sure y'all in the community section. I'm going brazy in the community section, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Turn up on Life is Just a Wave podcast, man. Appreciate all support. Appreciate everybody pulling up to the live midday max. We are live again on Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. I promise I'm going to be on time this time, guys. Y'all already know how we doing, man. Life is Just a Wave podcast. Subscribe, like to the channel, turn on your notifications to all my surfers out there. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We here, man. Hey, look, until next time, guys, as more news comes out, I'm going to be posting it in the community section. Y'all can come there to find out more news if you haven't done so already. Just a reminder, every live going forward, guys, will be subscriber only. So you will only be able to comment if you are a subscriber only going forward. But appreciate y'all. Love all y'all out there, man. Life is Just a Wave podcast. Until next time, y'all be blessed, be safe, stay healthy. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Be easy. Life is just a wave, baby.